Look at the body next to you and tell him, don't you dare lose focus. Because the enemy don't have to destroy you, he just has to distract you. If he can't get your eyes off the promise, if he can't get your spirit tangled in trouble, if he can't get you to mitdroven in wat you say, he knows you'll fuck wat Gott seid. Schallen you to low till of Gott listen. They knows staat de promise over you liever is bigger time the pine in right now. The promise is luder tan the problem. But you must stay focused. Because of when God speaks our promise. He's no talking about your enough, he's talking with you next. When God taught Abraham, he will be the father of many nations. Abraham vassal zara was baden, the clock hawk run out God had spoken. The promise didn't match the situation. But the situation could cancel the promise. Don't let your present blue from your future. Say, focus is no tested when a verting is clear. Focus is testing the storm and the fear in the zielinka. Wenn bills stack high, wenn doorshoot, when you pay up levelk, ave tats when de emi vispers. It won't happen. But the day release all jaar, God pluck it and you is unstoppable if you don't lose the focus. When you wakker loop in the morning and you're staring at bills on the tableau. When the weight of responsibilities starts pressing down on your chest. When you the reality seems to lauk in the fakke of your dreams, you've a good Raymond and Bonating. Wo gab a promise? Because if the sauce the promise is shaky, ten the promise itself is shaky. If a person gives you their word over, they might me onvel but liever can't change. Pay up can promise you forever and valk ave tomorrow. Employers can't promise you positions and could your position next week. Friends can't promise a tile of ice have your back and 10 disappear when the storm comes. But when the crowd of heaven and earth opens his mood and declares a word over you liefer, shelling a you to lover. It's not possibility, it's a guarantee. God doesn't operate in the Bible. He then speak in the veil, say. He doesn't whisper in Baal, true. And no when God speaks, it's at let before it even begins. Scripture says his word will no dud read, but will accomplish everything he sends it to do. Tad mean say he looks like the promise is later. Even if your situation till later is composite vad he declared. The word of God is still in motion. Think about it like this. Have you ever done a package online? You click Tad button online. You pay the prika and immediately you receive a confirmation email. You don't have the package in your hands yet. But you already start connecting it. Because you trust the source. You trust that the company you ordered from is reliable. Dat the systeem is in plakken de deliver wat was promise. No we kan have dat moet fight in an online company. Hoofdmoeder schuld we trust the almighty God wo cannot fall. The moment he spoke dat promise into your liefer. You rave your confirmation number. It may no have arrived your doriate, but it's already on the way. Don't get distracted by the shipping delay. Don't get discouraged but because of the tracking size, but in transit, and the fact that God side it may on seats all is accurate. Say, the enemy's grey artist weapon is to mark you for to get the sauce of your promise. He wants you to think you dram it eat up yourself. He wants you to believe you're to veak, to broke, to flavet as eight manifest. Well, the truth is this. The promise that come from God needs no the dependent on you, the strength is been dent on his. And the last time Ishake, his strength never runs out. Let me give you our reality for picure. Our young shil vos, leidning hove to swim will often panic when the water gates toe deep. I'll trash tile, scram, tie crew, convencate tire about to droven. But vad don't realitza is taught their father is standing right there in the pool with tame. And stretch it zying, I even go to you. I promise it evil late you zinc, the schilds fair blinds tame to the present of their fatter. They focus on the water instead of the word. Instead os zometimus. God sei se leve you nor forzake you. A boot vey panic at the fierce vavitat heats. Vey fogge vomar the promise. Liefer will give you plenty of raisons to duped. You look Aaron and say, other pay up like a ting blessed, other pay up place drams coming to pass, other pay up place prize buying and spirit, and you'll wonder, but goat, die shanning you forgab met me, but late may Raymond you, God is no don uti me table. He's no bunt to the calendar on you to vow. When he promised it, Abraham deskendans, he took Descartes before Isaac arrived. But just because of the promises there didn't may on it vast danit. Abraham had to remember Volgava the promise. Ishalova, my betats you the word today. You've been staying out empty bank accounts, broken relationships, or daily hell, and you've been wondering if you misunderstood God. Late me declare it over you. The promise is still alive because the promise is still fightful. It's not our man taught he should lee, nor the zone of man taught he should repent. If his idea, he will do it. If he spoke it, it'll bring it his to pass. You don't have to figure out how it's going to happen. Und have all the details lean it up. You don't have to manipulate people or fork on doors. All you have to do is stand on the sauce. If God gave the word, ten his reputation is on the lean note yours. And God is no but to let his name be put to shama. So the next time du creeps in, the next time the storm rages, the next time people try to talk you out of your dream lift up your head, straighten you to back and remind yourself, ik nog gaven me de promisse. It was my boss, it was my nightboard, it was my own imagination was God. And because it was God, you can't trust it will surely come to pass. And when it does, you'll look back over the years of waiting, the thousands of pain, the nights of tears, and you'll realize the omitting. The struggle was temporary, but the promise is eternal. The pain was momentary, but the word is forever. So hold on, keep believing, keep expecting, because if you remember the sauce, you'll never lose a fight in the promise. Wenn Gott plakas a promise on your life, he also plans a vision deep inside of you. That vision is no just a dream. It's a glimpse into your destiny. It's the preview of a coming attraction, the movie trailer of your future. But here is the Schallinger. Circumstances don't always match the vision. You can't be holding on to a word that says, but you're the head and not the tail. Vila your bank account is screaming, you're a broker. You can't carry a vision of healing and you hail of your body as with sickness. You can't be promise abundance vila stand in the middle of lack. That's when you go to learn and to focus on vision. Note, circumstances are temporary, but vision is eternal. Circumstances shift like the well on a day each unseen, the next day each storm. On a day on you're on top of the mountain, the next day on you're craving through the valley. But vision is shining love. Vision doesn't move. Vision doesn't buff the economy. It does crumble on the reaction. He does vanish when people valk out. Vision is anchored in the word of God. Think about Joseph. God gave him a vision of greatness, says after the morn and starts bowing down to him. That was a picture of his future. But right after vision, circumstances went in the opposite direction. He was trouble our Pitbull his brothers. Zalt as lava. Falsely accused, lock up in prison. I very turn, his circumstances scram it to forget the drama. Give up the vision, but Joseph held on. And because he held on, the Pete could cancel the palaka. And the prison could block the promise. He did late the circumstance define him. He late the vision sustain him. Nog let's bring into daily life. Imagine our young student woont rams of backdoor. That's her vision. But right now, she's sitting that you are cramped out pat man, getting noteless, struggling to pay tuition. The circumstances say, oh, you can't afford heat. You're not smart enough. You'll never market it. But if she keeps head eyes on the vision, if she studies later into the night, if she refuses to lay backs discourage her on a day she will wear taught with the coat. Vis vals headed to push through the present pine, or picture our family wo dreams of opening their first home. Every day they drive through Nike boats and zeehuses with the voorzalen zigens. The vision born in Zed of Thames. But when they check their credit, they say the prius the circumstances lock in their fucker. Yeah, if they keep zaving, kept planning, kept believing, on a day the kaiser be in their hands, and the moment they valk truk the door. Tau realita tadave strong ton the circumstance. They hayes the zect, whatever you focus on grows. If you focus on your circumstances, your pure profundims will grow, they block your fief. But if you focus on your vision, your fight will grow to give overs hadovs, you're duped. That's where the enemy works out him to magnify your circumstance. Hey Vance, you to believe in the present has more power than the promise. But vision Raymond's you. This is not the end, this is used to our shape. Have you ever lose a GPS in your card? You put in the destination, that's the vision. All on the way you hit traffic roadblocks. That's the circumstance. But no tickets omitting. The GPS doesn't cancel your destination vain, hit our traffic, yeah. Used to you. Circumstances might reude you nej, but they cannot cancel your destiny. As long as the destination is set, you'll get there. That's vad vision dus you look at you know where you're going. Even when where you are, it doesn't look good. The problem is, Tomanos on glans of a zone out to a circumstance, that we forgot vad God show us. Where the yards of the pine, replay the disappointment. Magnify the obstacle. And me meets the vision, but vision rake virus fight. Fight is causing to believe a vad varat God seit tover vad you say. Fight is sein, how my circumstance may be dark, but my vision is light. Marcus may be shaky, but my vision is steady. My circumstance may look down, but my vision is saliva. A thing about our farmer planting our zait. When hey buris tot zait, the ground looks empty. The circumstance, but there's nothing here. I boot the father my house vision of a harvest. So hey vadis the zoil hey vites with expectation. Because hey knows the zait is working underground. That's how one works. Even when you don't say it, even when the circumstance look bad and the promise is getting me nodding beneath the zorfucker. So Toda, don't let what you say marker you fogger what go zeit. Don't let the stardom clute your sight. Don't let the setback blind your spirit. Lift you the highest from the circumstance, fixed him on the vision. Because of you the circumstance, he's only our chapter, not the whole story. The vision is the ending God already wrote. And when you finally step into what God showed you, you look back and allow at the circumstances taught treat to break you. You'll say, Pete Vass Alvardi, the pine the vide, the terrias they all your stepping stones to my vision. And that's where you go to hold on. Focus on the vision. Because the circumstance may change our tuza and timus, but the vision will never be. Distraction is the silent kill of destiny. The enemy knows he cannot talk. Ave the promise of God has placket on you, liefer. So instead, he tries to pull you that tension away from it. If he can't destroy you, he will distract you. That's why we're adding your Mindis note just as suggestionits of evil. The battleground is note always ut seed of you. The greatest why you will ever fight is the vines either your own thoughts. Think about Peter walking on the water. Jesus told him, Bekomme tat was the promise. Peter step it out of the board, eyes fix it on Jesus. And as long as he's focused, look it on the master. He did the impossible, he walk it on water. But the moment he go distracted by the wind and the varves he began to sink. The wind had been tear the volle time. The varves had neither stop it, but distraction shifted his focus. Tot distraction dus hij tiet agus juda is off the permissive giver and locks him onto the problem. No flates bring he dubbin de very velieve. Hof many teams have you zaid out with clear goals, clear intentions, and are clear mentality to be zida tretiket. You say, but this year he'll save money. About 10 distractions come in the form of zalus. Flashy advertisements and instant gratification. You say this vehicle get closer to go. It would distraction show up through endless scrolling. Lot night Netflix bingers and phone notifications that kept your Bible closet. Use even to focus my family. But distractions either in the form of a working, shazing approval or trying to keep it very on else. Distractions don't always look dangerous. So many times they come address it as opportunities. No, they very open doors you the door. The devil doesn't always fight you with evil, so many times he fights you with options. He knows if you spare yourself to teen, if you are constantly pulled in different directions, you lose the focus on abandon the promise. That's where you've got to go out your mint like it's a treasure because it is. Beloved, imagine driving a car. If your eyes constantly wander from the road, kicking a very billboard, texting on your phone, turning to arc with Zomeon in the back, it'll crash. Not because you didn't have a destination, but because you got distracted on lief is the zamavete. It's no Todd God has to mark it out your destiny. It's taught you can't react it if you kicking your eyes off the road. I know the daily leaf a picture. A student in our classroom. The teacher is giving the lesson, but the student is doodling on their notebook, diagramming, or whispering with friends. Tell a lover, when in the test comes they found out because they very intelligent enuk, but because they very distracted. That's hopefully for works. Test will always come. You do abilities deep in patter yon very paying attention to vision or distracted by the noise. The truth is, whatever gets your attention gets your liefer. If your mint is consummate with negativeness, gossip, or fair, those distractions will cock out the promise. But if your mint is filled with God's word, prior, was he, And reminders of his faithfulness, your promise will trieve. The Bible is a be transferred made by the renewing of human. Avern, causa transformation starts in the mid before it shows und jupen liefer. Hey, the enemy knofs tardiv, he kan pose on your thoughts. He kan parallel to you the destiny. That's anxiety attacks the mint. That's vu färre whispers in the mint. That's we duped crepes into the mint, because the mint is the control center. Wherever wins you the thoughts wins your liefer. So, you were to guartit. Just like you lock your house at night, just like you zet a password on your phone. You must zet a goal on your mint. Hof, be by intentional about what you allofen. Be careful what you listen to, what you spend time with, and what conversations you entertain. If it fates your distraction more than your destiny, cut it off. If it fools your fair more than your fight, should it dove. Cazels of the promise of God east to prekios to be drove now be background noise. Late may lever you with this imaga. Our runner in our marathon. The crofties sharing, some pair up our shooting and couragement. Others are heckling and mocking. If the runner tries to stop and answer a very critique, tide nay very finish the rock. The runner must stay focused and fate on the finish line. That's hope you go at your mint. You don't lay a very voice into your spirit. You don't lay very distraction talker you off kuza. You zealand the noise and keep your eyes on the promise. So told ask yourself, what's been stealing my focus? What is John's have been draining my energy? Pulling me away from the promise goat gava me. 10 maka deki on the talker your mint back. Because if you go at your mint, you'll go at your future. And when you stand in the middle of your promise, You'll rally to Todd the name he didn't have the power to destroy you, the only thing he ever had was the power to distract you. And I go, you didn't lay him veen. Fight is not about what you say with your natural eyes, it's about what you believe in your spirit. Welken beside me ans you the bazet on the evidenka, aren't you? Welken beside me ans you leave a bazet on the evidenka of God's word. And what things will always clash. Because of what you say will often tell you it's impossible. But what God say will always declare. All things are possible to tempt a believer. It think about it. If you live only motivate according to sight, you will step out into anything new. Sight will always tell you to play it safe. Sight says stay in the board, don't risk it, don't step out. A boot fight says, but lounge into the deep. Because of God's word is in him to hold you up. Zij looks at the vals of Jericho and Zeis. A tired to big, to strong, to tall. Fight Zeis, shoot and wat the vals fouled. Zij looks at Goli and Zeis, for he's gian, he's on de fiate. You're no match for him. I fight Zeis, but with God my zida, ohne Stonne is alienate. Aside focuses on what's visible. Fight focus on the invisible God for he's always at work. Daddy forgive us constant reminders of this. Imagina farma voplans azet. He dust valkutsida the next morning and Zephyr hang from the tree. What his is dirt, the circums looks empty. Bootfight tells him, something is happening underground. So he vatas eat, he vites, he protects it, because he knofs teres liefer he says zenotte. That's what it means to welk fight trust the prusto Kevin Vane your eyes don't say progress. Altar you collaborate pine for jobs. Tyva zenot razor maze going into interviews and herring on no. Side size, you're not qualified. No one events you. Give a oop, boot fight zeiss, begot has, I'll let you prepare the right door. Kept walking, kept knocking, kept trusting. A fight doesn't deny the reality of reaction. Boot eat refuses to be definite breed. Welken buurfight is often uncomfortable, because it demands that you keep moving vain, you don't have the full picture. It's like driving at night with your headlights on. You can't say the volle highway. Du kan say enough of the road to keep going from fart. Fight is the zammerway. Go does now I show you the full blueprint. He should you just enough light for the next step. And if you'll trust him with touched, he'll rave all the next owner. And ten the next owner. Step by step lads you into fulfillment. The danger of Valken beside these tides tani crop you and fair. Fair always fits on what the eyes can't say. If you only leave a boost side, you'll make for the obstacle and minimize your goat. That's wie the 10 peaceful winter can come back with our negative report. Daf the gag gans, they off the 40 feet keys. And aside whole time, but they can't do it. Boot Joshua and Caleb Valket bu fight. They zaf the Zamagians. Boot the fight declarate. Eve got east with was they are abroad fotos. The different vasten wat they zafid vas hof they cause it a valk. And hence tat trio fotos. Tope opula kan go truk the Zamazituation faserpat bekauze tire valking beside. The other stands firm because the tire of Valkyrie fight. Side focuses on the problem, fight focuses on the promise, side is movet bufair, fight is anchored in hope. Side looks at the natural fight grops, halt of the supernatural. Hier zijn er verde exempla. Tink, abel learning to read our bicycle asa schild. Odd fears, Judas say the vobless, the fouls, the scrappers, and you went to creed. But your parents stands but you stay during the bike sein, will you can't do this. Valken bu fight is like trusting Todd voice, even when your balance hasn't caught up yet. Shalom you lover, you believe what's being spoken over you more upon what you say in front of you. To Valken fight, you have to train your perspective. It doesn't mean ignoring reality, it means refusing to let reality limit God. Yes, the doctor's report is real. Yes, yields are real as a betrayal is real. Boot fight zeis, this is not the final word. God has the last word. Fight is no bend optimus meetis courageous confident in the sheriff God. So when leave gates hard outside trees to control you, ask yourself. But what did God say? If he said you'll be hell, eh? 10k valken to wat herling. If hij zei heel provide 10 capes oving aan trusting. If hij zei heel marker of 10 cap stepping even when the raw looks block it. Fight is the bridge between you to present struggle and your promise it futura. And on a day when the vision becomes reality, you'll look back and realitza. It was fight kited you took the nights of duped. Fight that kept you moving, when side taught you to quit. Fight that lifted you above what you could say. Side side you'd zink, but fight side you'd stand. Side side it was over, boot fight side it was use beginning. So don't let side style your destiny. Lift your eyes higher. Wat brief fight no wat beside, because a fight says what side cannot, and fight talkers you veer aside will never let you go. A promise from God is like a zait planted in the zoid of your spirit. Tot zait has a veriting eat nates and zeta to grow into the trade was designate to be, but just like anepsilon in the natural. It needs to be variant nuris hate. And the vader tot keps the promissa alives prior. Vidut prior. The zeta promissa begin to drew out, hope begins to vitter, and fight begin to stava. But when you fate your promise with prior, you are giving leaf of what God has spoken, even when your circumstances still look bad. Think of Hannah in the Bible. She had our promise sturen in zida her helivet she wohne der hold our schild. But jaar after jaar her vom was empty. And her rival mocket her. The circumstance gave her a very raison to creed, but instead of surrendering, she prayed. She poured out haters who before her God. And in due time, Zamo was born. Was in her tears on a tot brought the promise of fort. It was her pedestenke in prior. She fair her promise a very time she del doven and creed out a lot. Remember me. Ich telling you lova. Tats wat prior does he keeps the promise at until the appointed time. Let's bring this closer to a everyday life. Imagine you're zavin to buya homa. You don't use troves on money nine. I once expect our house to show. No, you consistently save. You could back on necessary spending. You kept depositing little by little. Over time, those deposits grow, and evidently you can't afford the house. Prayer works the zamave. A very prayer you pray is a deposit into your promise. You may not say the house yet, but your investments buoys building. You may not say the bractor yet, but he's collecting a very ready word you speak in fight, so met him as people say, if God gave made the promise. We do need to pray about it, because of pride is what elegance you to hair with he is, will on strengthens you to endure the fighting zeals on. Prior dust and fought God's hand, right opens your spirit to trust he's teaming. The promise is guarante. Boot your head needs constant Raymond, and prior is hove you Raymond, use of voice in control. Tucker a daily example, and I feel of con. He then is just lay av ida alone and hope for the best. He wat has fertility ziet, removes weights, and watches over it. Ich neglect seed, weights will cocoa the crow. In the zame way, if you neglect prior, duped fair, you to love, and disgragement will creep in and cocoa your fight. But when you pray, you whip out the vase, you zealand the lace, you strengthen your spirit. Prior is no use talking to go teats, protecting the promise he gave you. And here is the truth. Liefel will always true to für jede fair social media. But news negative people they pour constant for into your duped. I fairies buying daily. 10-year permissen must be fade daily toe. That's wie prior is optional it's until. If you don't fade promise with prior, usual circumstances will fade it with despair. Because are you at the training for a marathon? Every day they run, they stretch, they outright. Vu, because they are preparing for the big rocker. If they only train once in a villa, their body won't be ready. The permission your leaf is like hard rocker. Prior is your training. It builds endurance, strengthens your fight muscles. And press you run until you cross the finish line. So medemus prior feels like nothing is happening. You pray and pray. But the situation lunchangit. That's because a prior is often like shagging a battery. At first, it looks like nothing is happening, but the energy is built in zeta. Tenzerdenly on a day. There's no shaga for the everything to power on. Your priors are not vaste of the lover. They are shagging the promiso in the moment of release. Think about Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Hij was carrying the greatest promise of salvation for the world. But weight was so heavy that his sweat fell like drops of blood. What did he do? He prayed. Prayer gave him strength to endure the cross and say the promise of fulfilled. If Jesus himself needed to fulfill his promise with prayer, hoog more way. So don't underestimate the power of your prayers. When you pray over your children, you're a faith and promise that God will practice guide tame. When you pray over your Mariaga, you're faithing the promise that love will endure. When you pray over your dreams, you're faithing the promise that God's plans will prosper. Every visperate prayer, a very tearful crew, a very word of fight is nourishment is God plant in you. On a day the harvest will come. And you'll say that prayers very invested in energy, the very thought that kept your promise alive. And when you're holding in your hands the very thing you once prayed for, you'll realize that a very sleepless night. A very prayer you thought was ignorate, a very time you bent your knees and fight almaterate. It alvaterate the zait until it become our tray. So keep fading your promise with prayer. Don't let Zelenka stop you. Don't let delay discourage you. Don't let dupe distract you. Prayer is the bridge between what God spoker and what you will say. As long as you keep fading it, the promise will never die. A very promise God pluckes in your leaf like your flamme. Tot flamme kan er grove into our blatzing fear or bay smoterate into smoket. Our load of tadbens, wo je leut stand out on e. Some pay up level van your flamme. Otters will tree to put it out. That's where you will go to Zurand Joseph with Budeliefers or Dram Killers. Think about the story of Mary, the mother of Jesus. When the angel told her she will carry the Xavier, it was a promise beyond imagination. No, she could have a run on top the people pay up the would lock out hair, kratzi or shama hair. But instead, she went straight to Elizabeth, who was also carrying on miracle. And when Mary greeted her, the Bible says the baby lay up in Elizabeth's womb. That's the power of buying our believers. When you share your promises with the right people, so meeting layups in seed of time toe, they don't use note their hearts. They fight resist with yours. They confirm what has already spoken to your spirit. Bootlegs by real many of us have a leonate way what happens when they tell dram killing us or vision. They roll their eyes. They tell us all the reals on seed won't work. They magnify the obstacles and minimize the God will gather the word. You walk into the conversation excited. Boot you lay have a feeling deflated. That's what dreading am killers do they poke a horless, and you hope until it's like your fight is lacking out. Daily lieve give us examples of this all the time. Imagine a student who dreams of becoming a scientist. They shot on you the dream with on a tacher vo's eyes. But that's amazing. You have the potential. Keep going. Het had een kwage man voels de determination. Boot 10, they share the samme with our relative vo's eyes. Nobody in the family has ever done a thought. Just be realistic. Eve tire no careful. The words of the Duplicon Vike have hier ton the words of the encourager. The differenke, one was a believer, the other was a dram killer, or because of owning a small business. Tire excitate, full of ideas, and I got a lounge. They tell on a friend was eyes a goal for eating bay, even your fierce customa, tot friend is a believer. But they tell another friend, was can't zeiss, the market is too hard, you lose the money. If they zero Thames overs with the wrong people, tile booty the dram before it even begins. That's where it's crucial to cause your kirkle easily. Inshallah, if the people closest to you don't you believe in the vågar you the promise, they will never believe in the promise itself. Here is the truth. Not everyone is man have access to your vision. Some people are only supposed to be part of your past, not your future. If you keep dragging them along, they will like you doven. Think about an eagle. Eagles flew at altitude as no bit kan reach. Chickens scratch in the dirt. Piggy owns flop out looking for crumbs. Boot eagles zor at abel the storm. If an eagle zurruns itself with chickens, it will forget was designate for the sky. The zama is true for you. You zurrent yourself with small mandate people, you'll start thinking small. If you kept company with negative people, you'll become a negative. But if you zurrent yourself with visionaries, prior values, and believers, your fight will reason to their level. Even Jesus modeled this. When hij went to Heal Jaida's daughter. Hij welk to our room fillet with duped. People ook had him van hij zei, but she's no doubt. She's only sleeping. And what did Jesus do? He put him out. He removed the drum killers before a perform the miracle. Zo met Timus. The miracle in you leave is delayed because you've allowed the wrong people in the room. You've got to learn how to lovingly but firmly put out the dupes art fight con reason. No think of daily encouragement have you ever gone to the grandma workout partner. On the dice you want to quit. They pushes you to keep going. On the dice you feel back, they remind you of your goal. That's what belief first though in your spiritual walk. When you're failed fast werk, they remind you of the promise. When you're attempted to give up, they pray with you, cree with you, and push you forward. The unite fails light when you walk with toes vo believer in the zama go calate you. Guarding your kirkle is no about arrogance, it's about protection. You're not saying others are worthless. You're saying your promise is precarious. You don't have to coup de very honor of harshly. You must be visas enuk to know fokan, handle the weight of your vision. No, the very owner has the spiritual maturity to understand what God is doing you. And that's okay. But you cannot let the unbelief driven your destiny. So ask yourself, what's in my kirkle? Are they believers wo for my fight? Or they am killers wo drein my hope? Do they celebrate when he shot my vision? Or do they critique it? Do they speak liever? Or do they speak that? The answer to those questions may reveal where you're moving forward toward where you feel stuck. At the end of the day, the promise God gave you is too important to be smart literate by the wrong voices. Zuri und yourself with people wo will pray in your tirate and courage in your verity. I mean, you of what rain vain you're tempted to dupe. Because Wayne believers got to fight multiplies. And when fight multiplies, Mrs. Commodore Leifer,